Welcome to BBC London with me, Assad Ahmed. Coming up on the programme. It may have felt like Black Friday every day this week, but it's finally here and it's a boost for businesses, including a TikTok shopping channel in North London.
This is the one time, the quarter, where you make a majority of the budget. Like for us, we make a majority of our budget this time.
We've been out with shoppers also on the programme. The pensioner murdered for a box of cornflakes, milk and sausages outside a shop in North London. His killer is jailed. Thinking of the less fortunate this Christmas, the group wanting to deliver thousands of presents to children who'd otherwise be receiving nothing. And
we're marking 40 years since the first blind date by having a chat with these two, a London couple that was so very successful after being on the show.
Good evening. It may feel like Black Friday has lasted, a whole month now, but today actually is Black Friday. It's become popular over the past decade or so. It's an American idea imported to the UK by companies like Amazon. But whatever the origins, it is hugely popular and gets people spending. So it's an important day for businesses and shoppers alike. Victoria is out on Oxford Street for us this evening with more on this. Victoria.
Assad, either because it's payday for a lot of people or because the Black Friday hype is working, I haven't seen Oxford Street quite this busy in a very long time. It's also very noisy, it has to be said as well. But there's plenty of twinkly lights around, there's lots of deals to be had in the shops, and there's loads of places to eat around here. So people are here making a day and evening of it, but it's not just because of the shopping.
We have come from Norwich and Leicester, and we decided this was our place to be.
Is it because it's Black Friday?
No, we actually didn't realise.
And
then we were like, oh my God, it's Black Friday and it's been so busy, but we've enjoyed it and we've made the most of all the discounts.
And we had a glass of wine at the end.
I came out shopping for mostly makeup. It's been decent, it's been okay, but it's very crowded. As you can see, it's very crowded.
I didn't really notice today, but I've had emails all week saying online shopping, it's Black Friday, so that's all I thought, yeah.
But you're not tempted to see what offers are on?
No, I don't think I will today, no.
The timing of this Black Friday is pretty significant, given that we heard the details of the budget yesterday. As those people in the clip said there, it is pretty busy, and that's backed up by some data that we got this morning from a company who analysed these sorts of things, MRI Software. Now, they said there was a 14.7% increase in footfall in central London today compared to a week ago, up 0.5% on the same time last year. And one analyst told us that today, Black Friday, really does mark the starting gun of the shopping season.
There's been a lot of concerns about things around the budget and what that would mean for spending, but now we know what's happening. People are out. There's a lot of spending that people have held back, but people want to be out for Christmas, they want to be doing things, they want to have fun, and they want to enjoy a bit of the Christmas season. And the shopping season starts on Black Friday for lots of people.
Now, consumers are, of course, spending their money in lots of other places, not just in the shops in main high streets like this, predominantly online. But it's younger people in particular who are heading to social media to spend their Christmas money as well. Now, Alice Mandakravi can report now on the rise of what we're calling the TikTok shop.
£64 worth of goodies. All you need to do is spend £25 and above. You got 2 minutes, okay? There's a countdown timer here.
This may look like a shopping channel on TV, and in many ways it is, but it's not on television, it's on social media. Brands use TikTok Shop to sell their wares, and this live stream is being filmed at a makeshift studio in North London.
So these are Somos live studios. We've got a number going on today, including the Beauty Crops Live. That's the Beauty Crops founder who's currently presenting, and then the rest of the team are all moderating the live stream.
Brands like the skincare one being filmed here use marketing agencies to get online with live streams where users follow along and potentially add to basket. According to the marketing agency Somos, it's an area of huge growth.
We started from scratch 18 months ago, and obviously we've grown quite quickly. To be honest, we're actually overwhelmed with new business right now. I think that's because people are discovering the platform. Live stream selling on TikTok Shop is growing year on year, and it's only going to get bigger next year as well.
So does this apparently growing trend mean fewer people will be buying in physical stores or even than on companies' own websites? Well, not necessarily.
TikTok Shop is just all about discovery, like it's a discovery platform, and to be honest, users might discover your business on TikTok Shop. They might discover new brands, new products, and they might not even purchase them there, but they might go and purchase them on another sales platform or in-store.
And for brands whose customer base is younger, being where the Gen Z consumers are is important, according to skincare founder Ning.
Being on TikTok Shop and being on TikTok helped propel the brand into the hands of most of our consumers today, because a lot of our customers are Gen Zers.
With market conditions tough for all retailers, from the biggest high street names to the smaller startups, Black Friday is a crucial time.
It's madness because it's peak, and a lot of direct-to-consumer businesses, e-com businesses, they know that this is the one time, the quarter, where you make a majority of the budget. Like for us, we make a majority of our budget this time of the year, and this week has been crazy.
So a big day for businesses today, with a big weekend to come, followed, they hope, by the even bigger Cyber Monday, which is where online sales really come through. Alice Bandukravi, BBC London.
Now, I don't want to be accused of being a killjoy on this one, Assad, but there is still quite a debate raging about whether there really are deals to be had on Black Friday, and which the consumer organisation says that actually in about 80% of products they looked at, there were better deals to be had on other days of the year, so those products could be found cheaper on other days of the year. That doesn't take away from the fact that standing here on this Friday, amongst these lights, all these people, sounds, smells, sights, it's quite pleasant to be in the shops in real life. Back to you, Assad.
Yeah, Victoria, it is nice to see Oxford Street busy and buzzing like it is there. Thanks very much for that. Well, this is BBC London, still to come on the programme this evening.
All these presents and many more have been donated to the Winter Toy Appeal. I'll be meeting the North Londoners, trying to ensure no child in this part of the capital goes without a gift this Christmas.
A mugger who attacked and killed an 87-year-old man as he walked home with his shopping in North London has been jailed for life. The judge at the Old Bailey said Peter Augustine had tried to steal John Mackey's bag in Manor House for a box of cornflakes, a pint of milk and sausages. With the details, here's Lakshmi Gopal.
I murdered nobody.
Peter Augustine arrested for the violent murder of a vulnerable 87-year-old over a bag of groceries. John Mackey had dementia and limited mobility. A gentle, generous man, always immaculately dressed, never seen without one of his collection of trilby hats. On the 6th of May, John Mackey bought cornflakes, cottage pie and a newspaper at the Co-op in Manor House. After he left, Augustine started following him as he walked to Manor Kebab to buy sausage and chips, and then later, at a quiet spot, attacked him. The court heard Augustine shouted, "Give me the bag," and that when he couldn't get hold of it easily, seemed to lose his temper. Witnesses said he punched and stomped on Mr. Mackey before leaving him unconscious on the pavement. Mr. Mackey had bleeding on the brain and broken ribs and died from his injuries 2 days later.
Peter Augustine killed this gentle, innocent man. He attacked Mr. Mackey for a box of cornflakes, a pint of milk and a Savoy sausage. I have no doubt that if the defendant was genuinely starving and had asked Mr. Mackey for help, this kind, generous gentleman would have shared what he had with him.
John was a quiet, unassuming and charming man. His loss will always be felt, but his memory will live on in the true Irish tradition of storytelling, and there are still many tales to tell. He will always be remembered with a smile.
John was funny and charming, a lifelong Arsenal fan who was adored by his family and was loved by his local community. It is a shameful tragedy that John was killed by Augustine for a mere few bits of shopping. He deserved better.
During the trial, Augustin had been aggressive and had refused a psychiatrist appointment arranged by the defence. He didn't attend today's hearing at the Old Bailey, where he was sentenced to life with a minimum of 23 years. Laxmi Gopal, BBC London.
Well, now a moment to take a look at some more of the day's stories in the headlines. Parents are being urged by the Metropolitan Police's counter-terrorism team to be vigilant over the Christmas period by keeping across their children's activities online. Referrals to the government's Prevent programme have increased by more than a third in the last year. Many were concerned over the radicalisation of children under 18. The leader of Kent County Council has called for a single authority to replace all the smaller councils in the county. Lyndon Kemcaran says it'll be cost effective for council taxpayers and would allow the council to react to challenges in the county. Ricky Reel was a 20-year-old university student described as a quiet and happy man. But nearly 30 years ago, Ricky was racially abused and attacked in Kingston upon Thames. That was the last time he was seen alive. Ricky's family have always believed he was murdered and criticised the police investigation. Now, in return, the Metropolitan Police spied on the family, a fact that when finally disclosed, the family called traumatising. It's an extraordinary case, which Aisha Baksh picks up.
The family of Ricky Reel have always believed he was murdered in a racist attack, and the Met Police failed to investigate properly.
What do we want? Justice!
For years, they campaigned for justice alongside other families and anti-racist groups. And now, 28 years on from Ricky's death, the undercover policing inquiry has revealed evidence of how the family was spied on by officers from Scotland Yard.
I do solemnly, sincerely and truly.
Ricky's mother and sister gave evidence to the inquiry. They outlined their dealings with the police and how they felt at being told an undercover officer had infiltrated their justice campaign. Ricky Reel had been out with friends in Kingston when he was attacked by two white youths. His body was found in the River Thames, and at the time the police said his death was probably an accident. A year later, the Met were alleged to have been involved in surveillance of his family.
Clearly, there were other things going on behind the scenes that we didn't know of, and what impact did that have on how that investigation unfolded, on the suggestion by the second investigation that we don't have any more information, this is just a tragic accident.
Well, the inquiry has revealed direct evidence from the Met Police of just how close an undercover officer came to be with the family of Ricky Reel at a time when they were begging the Met Police to investigate the death of Ricky. Police documents, handwritten notes and special branch intelligence reports were revealed at the hearing. They showed how an undercover officer known as HN81 or David Hagen attended campaign meetings, went to memorial events and one time even drove Ricky's mother home after a campaign gathering.
HN81 was having twice weekly meetings with his handlers, and some information went as far as special branch and even to the police commissioner. So this is really a concern for me as well.
A lawyer for the Met Police previously told the inquiry there was a collective failure to exercise ethical judgment about undercover policing, and grieving Black and Asian families were illegitimate targets. But Ricky's family say the impact of learning more about the undercover policing has been devastating.
It has impacted the whole family, my children, my husband, myself, and I have been in and out of the hospital. In fact, I had to sign my statement to the inquiry while I was still in hospital. This has destroyed my life.
We felt humiliated, we felt stripped yet again of our dignity.
Further victims and former police officers will also be giving evidence in the coming weeks and months. Ricky Reel's family hope the undercover officer who followed their justice campaign will also appear. Aisha Baksh, BBC London.
Well, let me just tell you that the Metropolitan Police were in touch with us a short time ago about that report, and they've asked us to say on their behalf that they sincerely apologise to the Reel family and acknowledge what happened was unnecessary, unjustifiable and wholly indefensible, calling it a collective failure of ethical judgment. That's from the Metropolitan Police. Now, there's lots more to come, including we go inside a church in Epping, which is central in the latest Knives Out sequel on Netflix. Now, it won't come as a surprise that many thousands of children in and around London won't wake up to presents this Christmas. Even food will be basic. It's why there's a winter toy appeal to help children in Hackney, Haringey, Islington and Tower Hamlets. It's organised by a group called the Local Buyers Club, and everyone can get involved. Chris Slegg can tell us more about the appeal.
Here in the basement of a Hackney estate agent's, a collection of toys donated for children who might otherwise go without at Christmas. Jenna and Vicky have been running their winter toy appeal ever since Jenna had the idea 12 years ago.
My son was 6 months old, and I, as a new mother, just had a real sense of the unfairness of things, that there are children who get at Christmas and children who don't, and the injustice of that setting in at a really early age. So I got in touch with a local estate agency, Location, and had a chat with them to see whether they would be interested in teaming up with our company, the Local Buyers Club, to run this appeal to make sure that every child in North London receives a gift.
Just by purchasing a small toy from either a local independent store or via the wish list, or even to our GoFundMe, so we can spend that money in a local store, will make a difference to a child that otherwise doesn't have the spark of joy that many experience during this time of year.
Martin's nearby toy shop is one of several where people can buy a toy at discount to donate. He sees kindness thriving despite the cost of living crisis.
I think it's extraordinary that, I mean, everybody's feeling the pinch, and yet people are prepared to give generous donations. I mean, there are people who come in and they'll choose a present, which is fantastic. There are other people who will come in and they'll have a big pile of presents, and I think that generosity is just fantastic. It's a great part of the community.
Every toy donated will help make a young Londoner's Christmas special. Chris Slegg, BBC London.
OK, something new now. A moment to take a look at stories which could be missed but are worth looking up on our website or BBC News app. First, CCTV of what appears to be a woman caught taking langoustines, a box of them, from the doorstep of a Michelin-starred restaurant in Chelsea. It was worth about £200. Then in Berkshire, a council has made it easier to change road names. It'll help a street in Maidenhead to strip its association with the former Prince Andrew. And then we've got this, Max Whitlock in Essex wanting to make a comeback, and he wants to be in the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. And you can get more on those stories on the BBC News app, like I said, or the website. But if you're old enough to remember the 1980s and 90s, you're certainly old enough to remember this. Yep, of course, the theme to Blind Date, which began 40 years ago this weekend. It was a must-watch with our Scylla, and one of the couples who met on the show back in 1988 are still married. Wendy Hurrell went to meet them.
And here they are, Sue and Alex. Now, my first question is to you, Alex. Back in 1988, why did you go on Blind Date?
I think you have to picture yourself now at the show of the moment. And Blind Date was already top of the ratings. It was a bit like going on The Traitors today. Yeah, you'd say in a heartbeat you do that show, and particularly if you're a 23-year-old show-off. And clearly, Blind Date was the show of the moment to go on. There was no thought that you might actually win, or go on a date, or even meet someone that you might spend the rest of your life with.
You didn't think that far ahead. No. I mean, you're sitting there, as you say, behind the screen, and you're getting Dame Ed Reveridge and chimpanzee impressions. What on earth did you make of this man?
It was kind of mind-blowing, the whole sensory overload of the experience of it. So I was trying to remember what I was supposed to be doing and when, but that really cracked through the airwaves that this man had a bit of a funny side. He had a funny bone in his body. So I thought that's good.
Well, I'm glad you thought that, Sue. I hope you still think that.
Yeah. And then it was Alex. The decision is yours.
Yes.
And that was Sue from West Midlands. Come in, Sue.
When that screen went back, what was your first impression?
Well, what a sliding doors moment that really is, of course. And I think, well, you'll see if you ever look back on it. And I just looked at Sue and I said, what a lovely, lovely looking girl. I think, perhaps relieved, and we, of course, had no idea where we were going at that particular stage. Luckily, we ended up going to Ireland for the weekend, as opposed to the poor couple next door who's got whitewater rafting in Wales. And I think I'd still be in the Bristol Channel.
Yes. And you had so much fun on that date. And do you still have as much fun together?
And more, my goodness. We have great fun. I mean, life is busy, it's just chaotic, it's gorgeous, it's fun.
Yeah. And of course, in 1991, at the height of Blind Date, you were married, they did a show on it, Scylla showed up. I mean, it's hard to put into words these days how huge that show was and what a major part of it you were.
It's like the stars had aligned that day, I can tell you. I was a very lucky girl. As the years have gone on and we've done so many lovely things and talked about it to so many people, we can never believe it really happened to us. It's really quite surreal, and it's a moment that if we think too hard about it, it's scary. Will it change? But it's there, we're together. I'm loving every minute, that's good.
Well, if you remember, actually, that Scylla, absolutely right, she showed up to the wedding, and the wedding was very cleverly filmed on a Saturday when we got married, and they put the wedding special out on Sunday, us having appeared on all the sort of newspapers that morning, and as a result, it got 17 million people watched it. I mean, no pressure on the poor best man's speech. But it was just astonishing, and it came first in the TV ratings in '91.
Well, listen, congratulations on a very long and happy marriage together.
We're delighted.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex and Sue, and with that, it's back to our Assad.
And best of luck to Alex and Sue for the future as well. Now, the third instalment of the Knives Out film series is in some cinemas ahead of its Netflix release next month. Films 1 and 2 and their all-star cast have been hugely popular, and film 3 looks like it will be a big hit too. But the biggest starring role goes to this church in Epping, where filming took place and where the minister was already a big fan. Laura Foster reports.
Don't understand this case.
The knives are out once again. In Wake Up Dead Man, Daniel Craig is joined by the likes of Glenn Close, Josh O'Connor, Mila Kunis, and many more. But sharing the screen with these stars is a small church in Epping Forest.
There are rumours that the forest is haunted.
In Wake Up Dead Man, Holy Innocents Church in High Beach doubles for one in upstate New York.
Over there, around the back of the church.
And they used almost every part of the church for filming because it plays such a key role in the plot.
From the previous two films, there's always a central point, a central location to where events unfold. And the first one was the house, the second one was that island, and this one is the church and its surroundings.
Okay, you're freaking me out now.
Considering the whole of London gets so busy with filming nowadays because there is so much of it. So it's great to bring films back to Essex and this county and this area.
Well, I'm incapable of not solving a crime. Oh, you'll see. It's fun.
So this is the inside of the church, and you won't see this in the film. But it did have a crucial role in it. That's because this was the green room for all the actors, where they would come to prepare, rehearse lines before they go outside and shoot the scene.
Sadly, this was the closest that BBC News could get to the filming, which took place in summer last year.
It was such an extraordinary event to take part in.
But Reverend Jane Yeadon was luckier.
It was like central London, it felt like. I mean, normally we're very quiet round here.
A big fan of the series, she was so keen to be on set, she kind of had it written into the contract.
It was a slightly surreal moment when Glenn Close walked across the churchyard and put her hand out and said, "Hello, I'm Glenn." And you're kind of like, I kind of know, I've been watching you for years and years, you're amazing. And then there was a point where Mila Kunis was in the church and it rapidly became apparent she thought I was an extra. But when she found out I was the minister, it's so funny, she was just so mortified.
We don't know how much the church was paid for its starring role, as that information is commercially sensitive. But we do know it's helped pay for some long-needed repairs.
This church is beautiful, but she's listed and she's expensive to maintain. So we've been able to completely restore the wall and recast all the ironwork. And so it's complete for the first time in many, many years. That's been the gift of them being here.
Laura Foster, BBC London, in Epping Forest.
I love the fact that the minister was starstruck meeting Glenn Close. Let's get the weather forecast now with Kate. It was another mild day today, but I hear things might be changing.
Yes, they're still going to stay mild. The weather very much is keeping everyone, including me, on their toes this week. Now, we did have quite a nice day, actually, eventually anyway. We had lots of blue sky, lots of sunshine. You can see here in Twickenham, just a little bit of cloud earlier on today. Had a bit more this afternoon, a couple of showers. Had a weakening, fizzling out front, which moved through, but on the whole it's not been too bad. Now, this is what's been happening. Low pressure to the north of us, that cleared away, took the cloud with it, had the sunshine. Then this little feature moved through. We had those showers, not many of them. We had some breaks in the cloud, but that, as you saw coming in from the southwest, is on its way overnight into tomorrow. So dry to start with tonight. The cloud is going to increase. It's quite thick cloud, and then we're going to see this outbreak of rain, quite heavy and persistent as we head into Saturday. Still relatively mild, minimum between 8 and 9 Celsius. Now, as we head into Saturday, the Met Office has issued a yellow weather warning just in time for the weekend. It's valid from 6 a.m. tomorrow right the way through to midnight. It's going to bring us some heavy rain, 20 to 30 millimetres. And as it moves through, some strong winds as well. So for tomorrow morning, this is the progression. There's quite a bit of uncertainty surrounding just where it's going to head. But at the moment, it is looking wet and breezy. However, it clears fairly quickly towards the west. You may even see a bit of brightness by the end of Saturday. Temperatures tomorrow between 10 and 12. You'll notice they're just dropping a little bit as we head through Saturday. Now, that's going to continue to spin away overnight. The sky clears, the temperature drops. So we're looking at the minimum temperature overnight Saturday into Sunday, dropping down into low single figures, 2 or 3 Celsius. So we're back down, feeling very cool again as we head into Sunday. Now, that cold air continues to spiral in. You can see the low pressure. That's what's bringing tomorrow's rain. But around the outside, that colder air filters in, and it's going to stay with us on Sunday. So the temperature not getting quite so high. We should, however, see a fair amount of sunshine on Sunday. Quite a settled day, actually. Fairly breezy, but you'll notice that breeze coming from the northwest. So the temperature is going to struggle again, dropping down 6-7 Celsius during the day, which is very similar to the nighttime temperatures we've had over the last couple of days. And into next week, we've got another weather warning in place for Monday for parts of Surrey and beneath. Again, it's wet and windy and mild. That's that.
OK, Kate, thanks very much for that. Well, that's it for now. Victoria is back at 10:30 with our late news tonight on BBC One and the iPlayer. Also, some really interesting stories on the BBC London website today, including Australian actor Cate Blanchett getting the freedom of the City of London. I'll be back tomorrow with the weekend news at 5:40. Whatever you're doing this evening, bye-bye.